Well, good afternoon, everybody. In the interest of time, I think we will get started. We've given a complimentary 5-minute wait period, so I think we have most folks who are going to be showing up this afternoon, and we do want to thank you for giving your time to us today. Welcome to our forum as we prepare for the follow-up visit for accreditation for the fall of 2014. I want to thank our viewers who hopefully are tuning in from both our Hanford campus and our Tulare campus. And we have a short program prepared for you today. I do want to offer some thanks as we get started to Dr. Trimble and Professor Greg Turner, who are here today, our President and Vice President of Academic Senate. I also want to thank Kristen Robinson. Man, sorry, Kristen. And I want to thank the staff who worked on putting together the questions and getting the survey out so that we could do a little bit of a preparation and a review and a rehearsal of some of the key concepts we've been working on for our follow-up report. The information we're going to share today will be in 3 pieces. Dr. Lacerna is going to take the microphone in a minute, and she's going to take us through a short PowerPoint reviewing the key elements of the follow-up report, which is primarily the 3 areas of recommendation that we were required to respond. As you know, we also put out a survey in the spirit of our original 19 days to accreditation and gave staff who are interested in participating the opportunity to do a little research and find the answers to some of the questions about our follow-up report that's due. A couple of quick facts about the follow-up report. The visiting team, remember, is a 3-member team from our original review team who came last time. It's led by Willie Duncan again. Willie Duncan has been the chair of our committee for the last 2 visits. They'll be here on Monday, October 27th. It's a 1-day revisit specifically to focus on just those recommendations and standards that we were required to respond to in the follow-up report. So for many of us, I think the biggest sigh of relief we breathed was last February when we got the action letter and we learned that we were removed from show cause. The important thing to keep in mind, though, is that we were not removed from all level of sanction. We still remained on warning, which is a lower level of sanction, but we remained on warning so that we could verify throughout the course of last year that we would close the loop and complete those processes and procedures that we had set forth in that original show cause response report. So that's the work that we have been doing to follow up with that. Some of us, we were talking earlier this morning, some of us are not surprised that it may not have been a large number of faculty and staff who wanted to participate in this particular round of question and answer and competition about the 3 recommendations, because we know that for the most part, when we got through the imminent crisis of show cause, many of us felt that sense of relief. We felt a sense of confidence in the new systems that were in place, and we really were looking forward to refocusing our energies on our day-to-day work, in the support that we provide for students in the college, and in our direct instruction. So we understand that. We, in our own twisted kind of way, take that as a vote of confidence, that you all work so hard on putting the systems in place that we have, and they're so well codified now, so well institutionalized, that those have a way now of operating automatically. So even though we may be returning to our day-to-day work now is different at COS. And that's the important thing. So as we move forward and we think about the completion of our master plan, which is coming up in January, following our master plan, the beginning of preparation for our first new strategic plan, which is a 3-year plan that will help us set some specific district objectives toward that master plan. And those will be aligned with and start to align us with the accreditation standards reform that's taken place, preparing for our midterm report for accreditation. So our systems continue to go on and to work. I think the old days of getting through an accreditation cycle, getting reaffirmed, and then perhaps putting the accreditation report on the shelf for a while are gone. I think now it's built into our day-to-day work. So we're excited in the future about some more question competitions and some more information competitions, only rather than being centered around responding to an accreditation report, they're going to be more centered around the delivery of the changes and the improvements that we're making in our systems. For example, when we do the next strategic plan, we will identify the district's next set of board-adopted district objectives. Those specific measurable objectives will drive our program review. They will be aligned with the goals in our master plan. They will be measurable at the end of each year, and they will drive the allocation of resources. So we think that's a good opportunity in the near future to have another 19 days to strategic plan and get some questions out about understanding those district objectives and how they're going to be actualized in our day-to-day operations within our department and our division. So we're excited about continuing the forums and the interaction only around the real work of doing our systems and our operations. So with that, I'm going to turn the microphone over to Dr. Lacerna, who's going to step back for a minute now and remind us of what we're getting ready for and the 3 recommendations in this follow-up report.
Hi, everybody. And so we're going to just review briefly, and hopefully this works. Oh, no, it's not going to work. God. I don't know how to use this one. He told me I'd be able to do it. Okay, I'm just going to push enter over and choose it. So I can do that. Okay, so I'm going to just review the accreditation follow-up report. And if you recall, with COS 2.0, I'm just going to review kind of what our timeline has been. So we had the ACCJC follow-up report that was due in October, and we've completed that and turned it in. The ACCJC site visit is scheduled for this Monday, October 27th, so therefore we're all gathering together to remember that date is coming. Then we have our meeting. The ACCJC will meet in January, and that is when they will review our report, our team report, and they'll have discussion on removing us from sanctions, right? And then we will get our action letter in February, just as in the past couple of years, we find out in February that they removed our sanctions, right? Okay, and then just to review kind of our upcoming timeline, we have the accreditation timeline for the future is that and the past. 2012, we had our self-evaluation and visit, and then we have our show cause, that was February or fall of 2013. We have a follow-up report and visit that we're doing right now, and upcoming. The next thing we have to do is a midterm report, and so we'll be working on that. That will be due in fall of 2015, and depending on what happens in this on Monday in our next report, we may or may not have a visit. It's going to depend on how many follow-up items we have and what we'll be addressing in that report. After that, as you guys know, we've talked about there's new accreditation standards that are being introduced. They're approved now, and they're available for us all to look at. So we will be using those new accreditation standards in our next self-study, which is in fall 2018. So as you can see, accreditation is a way of life for us at COS. There's no rest. It's going to be constant. Accreditation is in our blood. It's in our planning model. There's no planning model in the Ponderosa? What's up with that? Where's our big poster? So it's in our planning. It's in our governance. It's part of our daily lives. We breathe accreditation. Okay, now to remember where we are, what are the 3 things that the accreditation visiting team will be looking at when they come out on Monday? They're going to be looking at the recommendations that came out of our follow-up report that we were put on morning. These are the same recommendations from our first report, the show cause report. There were 7 recommendations, as you recall. Out of those 7, there are 3 that remain. And they're not numbered 1 through 7. They're numbered 1, 3, and 7 because they're from the original 7. So the first one is a combination, and it was held over, and it's on planning. And so in 2012, what they found is that we lacked a formal planning model. by 2013, when they came back, when the visiting team came back, we had developed a model, and it's in the posters that's everywhere in campus except for Ponderosa. And so in the planning model, we've all implemented that. That's how we make decisions. That's how we do allocations. That's how we do the strategic plan. We have all of those things in that planning model. And what they found when they came last time is that we had not evaluated that model. Because if you recall, we really only had about 8 months to prepare all of that. And so even though we were working our model, we'd implemented our model, we didn't have time to assess it. So that's what they're going to be looking at on Monday is where are you with your model? Are you still following it? And do you have plans? Have you assessed it? And do you have plans to assess it? And yes, the answer is yes. Okay, the third recommendation, which is our second recommendation, is on research capacity. And so I think this was the question from the quiz that most people got correct because Dolly, our researcher, has been reminding us all about research, and we have workshops coming up on research and data. So back in 2012, they found that we needed to increase our research capacity as far as resource allocation, planning, and decision making. In 2013, when the visiting team came, we had hired Dr. Ozturk, and data is the middle of our planning model, right? Everything's based around data. You hear all the time now, where's the data to back up that decision, right? So that's where we were. And where we're going, or where we need to be, what they're gonna look at is that we've evaluated that. So are we using quantitative and qualitative data to guide our planning, assessment, and decision making? Okay, recommendation 7, which is our third recommendation, is on the evaluation of our processes. So again, back in 2012, we had no systematic evaluation of our processes. And so they had asked us to implement that. And by 2013, we had our resource allocation model and our decision-making model and our planning model all developed. We have our manuals to follow those, and we've just updated them, and we've evaluated how those processes are working. So that's what they're going to be looking at is, have you evaluated those processes? Again, we just developed the resource allocation manual, so by the time they came last fall, there was no way for us to evaluate how that was working. But that's, the budget committee has been working hard on that, along with District Governance Senate and Academic Senate and all of our other committees and all of you. So we feel very confident that they're going to find all of these things complete and done when they get here on Monday. So that is a review of where we were, where we're going, and Monday's the big day, so we're going to have 3 visitors here, and they're going to be in a room, I'm sure, and we'll be coming to them, so they're not going to be walking around campus or anything this time. But again, and I think Stan may have mentioned this, but I'll say it again, they haven't told us yet who they want to meet with, but they will be requesting meetings with different groups, so hopefully most of you on committees like institutional planning and Senate and budget and research have blocked your calendars, and as soon as we get that, we should have the list tomorrow morning. We will notify you right away. Tomorrow morning, as soon as we get it, what time and where you will be meeting. So with that, are there any questions about this process or what's happening Monday? All right, so any questions from Tulare or Hanford? No questions, either that or they're not typing fast enough. Okay, so next I am going to invite Dr. Trimble up, and we are going to review the questions that were given out for the quiz. Dr. Trimble's going to read the question and give us, well, we'll guess the answers, and then there you go.
Okay, so the good news is this wasn't a graded quiz. It was a practice quiz. Question 1, the district created a 10-year blank, which includes specific planning timelines for mission review, master plan development, and strategic plan development. Your choices are 2015-2025 master plan, institutional planning calendar, institutional program review, none of the above, or all of the above. Anybody? Planning calendar, yay! 2, if a department needs one-time funding for non-instructional supplies, those resources are requested through choices are a form completed outside of program review process and submitted to the area vice president, writing an action into the program review process, and the department will be contacted if the action is approved. The unit will then fill out a separate request in December, which will be sent directly to the budget committee, emailing the area vice president and asking that the vice president submit the request to the budget committee, completing a resource request in the unit's program review process in TRACTAT, or none of the above. Last one, good old program review. 3, the district undertakes the master planning process every blank years and the strategic plan every blank years. 10 and 3. Brent gets an A. 4, in order to increase research capacity to compile and provide data to guide institutional planning and resource allocation, program reviews and assessment, and decision-making for institutional effectiveness, the district completed the following actions since the show cause evaluation team visit in November 2013. Began the master plan development process, completed the annual report on the strategic plan, implemented the new institutional program review process, completed institutional set standards, or all of the above. Yeah, and are we tired or what? Manuals as well as Senate and committee agendas can be found online by clicking on About COS, right, About COS. So anybody can find almost anything about us that they'd care to find out. So what we're going to do now, we're going to select the winner for the people who participated.
Okay, we would like to introduce the folks who have been working on our editing team. This is an appropriate time to have them, if they're here, join us up here so that we can select our winners, but you can also recognize the people who have been putting in a lot of extra time, hours, energy, thought to getting the final written follow-up report done. So we have Dr. Trimble here, who is on the editing team, Dr. Ozturk. Dr. Lacerna. And you need to get ready to applaud out there in Hampered Land because it includes Dr. Robinson. And 2 instructors who have been integral to this but have class today, aren't able to be here, is Christian Anderson and Matt Boré have been the other 2. So this particular competition, because it was a little smaller than the 19 days and a little less intense, it's a little bit like youth soccer. Everybody who sent in any responses at all has a chance to get the prize. But you do have to be here to win, so we're going to sift through until we find someone who's here to win. And what we have for you, and we want to thank our College of the Sequoias Foundation, is a $100 gift card for you to go anywhere and do anything that you would like, a Visa gift card. And hopefully that's a nice thing right before the holidays. So I'm going to ask Dr. Trimble to reach in and pull the first and see if she gets a winner.
Tamara Fernandez.
She is here. Hey, Tamara. Come on down. Right? Okay, the thing you got to know is that if you win the gift card and you happen to have red hair, you have to share it with all other redheads. Yeah, that's right. Thank you. Okay. Again, you guys, thank you so much. Thank you to our editing team for the work that they've put in. Again, our visiting team will be here on Monday. We look forward to an opportunity to have a great report with you afterwards. So thank you very much. We're adjourned.